There are a few questions that every couple has to ask themselves and each other when it comes to their finances. That leads to more questions usually. And what better time than to have this conversation over dinner on Valentine's Day weekend? And here with what those questions are and how they can help answer those questions, Ralph and David Hicks with the Hicks Advisory Group. Always a pleasure to have you guys here.
Yes, thank you. Good to be here.
So Valentine's Day weekend, maybe a lot of people wouldn't be thinking, I got to talk about money with my spouse or my significant other, but it's a good time, right?
Yeah, let's imagine you're out to dinner. You've bought the flowers, you bought the cards, you've said the great words. It's a nice dinner. You're saying, I love you. And I always think of it in terms of style versus substance. Now, these are all pretty stylish things you just did. You get a lot of points for all that style, Dave. But now, I like to put some teeth behind these I love you, some commitment, some permanency, some financial responsibility for the long haul. So we thought about it might be fun to talk about some financial things while we got each other together. We're in the money business, and money doesn't necessarily create happiness, but it funds everything we do, including this dinner and these flowers and these gifts. So we thought it might be fun to have some questions to talk about as a couple while you're sitting there.
These are important topics. I know my wife and I, it comes up in conversation all the time. And that's actually a good thing, right, David? I mean, you want to be having these conversations to relieve the stress over
No,
finances.
absolutely you do. And this is a great opportunity to do so. When you're out to dinner this weekend over Valentine's Day and you're kind of having that lull in that conversation, don't know what to say next, we've got some three good topics of conversation starters with regards to your finance and retirement. Number one, couples, oftentimes one spouse will be the CFO of the family. They'll be the chief financial officer. With that, they know the investments, they know the life insurance, they know where the documents are, they know who to call if something were to happen. So we encourage everyone to have that conversation, have that contingency plan in place. Ask those questions. Hey, if something were to happen to me, do you know where to go? Do you know who to turn to? Do you know where these documents are? So we encourage you to start that conversation. It's not necessarily a fun thing to talk about, but it's important because we've seen people who don't have that conversation. They have to pick up the pieces, and it's already a trying time. So it'd be a meaningful conversation to have.
Yeah.
There's an old expression, what you are speaks so loudly, I can't hear what you say. So we like to put teeth and commitment into all these things. And the second thing you might talk about is, what's our plan? You know, we learned in high school and college, those kids who had a plan were really successful in life. They had committed it to writing, and they actually got it done. And so we urge couples to consider getting a plan. Less than 1 in 5 actually has a written plan, some strategy to get them to the other end. We talk about taking your financial binoculars and looking all the way down to the other end and getting a written plan that you can begin to work together to achieve.
Yeah, and the third topic of conversation, I never thought I'd say this, but Social Security can actually be a sexy conversation to have. And I say that because if couples understand how Social Security works, they can learn how to maximize it and use the advanced planning strategies that are out there, and it could mean the difference of tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. And to me, that's a pretty nice conversation to have.
Forward thinking, right?
Absolutely.
And it's hard to do when you're maybe at a younger age, a younger married couple, to
right.
think ahead to retirement. How can you help with folks that want to start these conversations but don't necessarily know what to do once they've had the topic discussed?
Yeah, we have a number of complimentary events we have all the time. We have one coming up next week.
That's right.
What are the dates, Dave?
February 17th and February 19th. We're talking about Social Security. For those people who want to learn about it, for those couples who want to learn how to get an extra 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 out of the system, it's a great time to come join us for one of those workshops.
Yeah, we call it Social Security maximization. And as it turns out, it's often 40 to 60% of your income later in life. A big deal. And the more we get out of this, the less you have to pull down from your other savings and investments.
Are these easy ways to, or I should say, are there easy ways to take advantage of that system without, I guess, being above the line, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, with planning.
Yeah. There are strategies, and we teach people strategies on how to maximize, how to get more out of the system. And they're not putting more in, they're just getting more for their contributions over all these years.
All right, tell us when and where that is. You did say February 17th
So
and
February
19th, right?
17th, February 19th at the North Domingo Baca Multicultural Generational Center. That is off of north of Wyoming, off Paseo del Norte. And they're both at 6 p.m.
Great. And where can people get other information about your advisory group and then also about what you've been talking about this morning?
Yeah, sure. If anyone has any information that they need on financial advising, they can come to hicksadvisory.com. They can call our office, 821-6966.
Such an interesting topic, and it is something that you'll probably be hearing a lot about, I imagine, in the coming days as people do have these conversations over Valentine's Day dinner.
Yeah. Many of the couples listening right now have $1 million in receivables from that system and don't know it.
Interesting.
Big numbers.
That's a huge deal. We got more online, krqe.com, about the Hicks Advisory Group and some of what they've been talking about here. A link under the KRQE links this morning. Thanks, both of you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Ralph and David Hicks, appreciate it. We'll be right back, guys. Stay with us.